In 2009, when we launched, we started really with recipes. Then in 2010, we raised an angel round, a seed round, of $750,000, which we used to invest in building out our own e-commerce platform. E-commerce represents about 60% of our top line revenue, and ad sales is the majority of the rest, with a very small bit being cookbook sales.
Cookbook sales?
In office and to complete one's duties. So why go for that? Well, as we know, Republicans today, a number of them, among them Kinzinger, voting for impeachment. So they decided to go with that process. And then there's John Katko as well. Play it.
The president's role in this insurrection is undeniable, both on social media ahead of January 6th and in his speech that day. He deliberately promoted baseless theories, creating a combustible environment of misinformation and division. To allow the President of the United States to incite this attack without consequences is a direct threat to the future of this democracy. For this reason, I will vote to impeach this president tomorrow.
Number of GOP congressmen voting for this. It seems that they believe that they're maybe doing the ethical thing or the politically expedient thing. It depends on who you ask and what you think the combination of those two may be. But they should also be reminded of the fact that the GOP, that the GOP still largely is supportive of President Trump. 50% strongly approve, and this is all post-Capitol Hill riot. 50% strongly approve of Trump, 27% somewhat approve of Trump, 10% disapprove, and 12% strongly disapprove. So overall, 77% versus 22% in the GOP are still supportive of Donald Trump. Now, there are clearly a lot of
the impeachment is ridiculous.
Because he had over 90%.
We're not going to have enough time, and they're talking about impeaching him after.
That the way things have been handled after the election,
if you impeach him after, impeachment is to take power from someone who is in office.
There are consequences.
He's no longer in office. How can you impeach someone who's not in office?
The president didn't want that to happen. The president knows that that's a disaster for him and for his legacy, and the Democrats' attempts to hold him fully, not just responsible in a general
Ben Shapiro did a pretty good
legally,
breakdown of it, though.
And even if they can criminally liable for this, is just wrong. Trump's total approval
Oh, damn it.
now,
Do I not have the whole bottom?
is at 48%.
Pretty sure that has shit that goes across.
51%. So let's all remember that while we have some GOP figures out there who are making it seem like Trump has lost his base, he has lost all Republican support, it's just not true. And that then raises the question, why do, at this stage, what the Democrats, who have been unhinged and maniacal critics of the president for 4 years, why do what they want you to do with just days left before this president will vacate the Oval Office and go back into private life? What's really accomplished by today's impeachment? We know what the Democrats get out of this, but if you're a Republican, what is it, to be on the right side of history? Well, let's just hope that no one sees any reason the days ahead to feel like they've made a mistake here, because the tensions are very high right now.
Tensions are high. Still rocking it. Let's go, baby.
A new political reality. Over the past week, a number of major corporations have turned their back on the Republican Party, once a reliable friend to corporate interests. After the break, we'll talk to New York Post opinion editor Sarab Amari on why the divorce between corporate America and the GOP might be a good thing. Stay with us. I got a crash course in a home title theft, and you better pray this crime never happens to you, because it can ruin you financially. Here's how the crime happens. The legal titles to our homes are kept online where they can be.
4 hours ago.
My fellow Americans, I want to speak to you tonight about the troubling events of the past week. As I have said, the incursion of the U.S. Capitol struck at the very heart of our republic. It angered and appalled millions of Americans across the political spectrum. I want to be very clear. I unequivocally condemn the violence that we saw last week. Violence and vandalism have absolutely no place in our country and no place in our movement. Making America great again has always been about defending the rule of law, supporting the men and women of law enforcement, and upholding our nation's most sacred traditions and values. Mob violence goes against everything I believe in and everything our movement stands for. No true supporter of mine could ever endorse political violence. No true supporter of mine could ever disrespect law
Blader
enforcement
Frisbee, what's going on, G?
or our great American flag. No true supporter of mine could ever threaten or harass their fellow Americans. If you do any of these things, you are not supporting our movement, you are attacking it, and you are attacking our country. We cannot tolerate it. Tragically, over the course of the past year, made so difficult because of COVID-19, we have seen political violence spiral out of control. We have seen too many riots, too many mobs, too many acts of intimidation and destruction. It must stop. Whether you are on the right or on the left, a Democrat
Yeah, and
or a
on
Republican,
the 6th they did.
there is never a justification.
And impeachment got
for
filed. They
violence.
decided on it. He did
No
get impeached for a
excuses.
second time.
No exceptions.
Now whether it'll be put through,
America is a
there's not going to be
nation
enough
of
time.
laws. Those who engaged in the attacks last week
Notice how they get shit done so
will be
quick.
brought to justice. Now I am asking everyone who has ever believed in our agenda to be thinking of ways to ease tensions, calm tempers, and help to promote peace in our country. There has been reporting
fuck
that
yeah.
additional
Appreciate you, Tim.
demonstrations are being planned in the coming days.
Hope you had a good day, man.
both here in Washington
And good night as well.
and across the country. I have been briefed by the U.S. Secret Service on the potential threats. Every American deserves to have their voice heard in a respectful and peaceful way. That is your First Amendment right. But I cannot emphasize that there must be no violence, no law breaking, and no vandalism
Right.
of any kind. Everyone must follow our laws.
I heard,
and obey
today
the instructions of law
the
enforcement.
Currency is up
I have directed federal
66%
agencies to use all
in the last
necessary
year
resources to maintain order.
in history.
In Washington,
66% of
D.C.,
it was
we are
created in
bringing
last
in
year.
thousands of
Hyperinflation,
National
man.
Guard members
Shit's going to get more expensive.
to secure the city and ensure that a transition can occur safely and without incident. Like all of you, I was shocked and deeply saddened by the calamity at the Capitol last week. I want to thank the hundreds of millions of incredible American citizens who have responded to this moment with calm, moderation, and grace. We will get through this challenge just like we always do. I also want to say a few words about the unprecedented assault on free speech we have seen in recent days. These are tense and difficult times. The efforts to silence one another.
What the hell is that?
All of us can choose by our actions to rise above the rancor and find common ground
What the hell?
and shared purpose. We must focus on advancing the interests of the whole nation, delivering the miracle vaccines, defeating the
This should just
pandemic,
restart.
rebuilding the economy, protecting our national security, and upholding the rule of law. Today I am calling on all Americans to overcome the passions of the moment and join together as one American
That's a McDonald's.
people.
McDonald's.
Let us choose to
Hell yeah.
move forward united for the good of our families, our communities, and our country. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
All right, still says it's good. Not a Trumpkin. What's going on, G? Just kind of looking over what's going on.
So we're going to Texas, we're going to the southern border, As you know, we've completed the wall. They may want to expand it. We have the expansion underway. It's been tremendously successful, far beyond what anyone thought. We're stopping in large numbers the drugs coming into the country for many, many years, decades. We're stopping a lot of illegal immigration. Our numbers have been very good.
I didn't see her.
There does seem to be a surge now because people are coming up. Some caravans
Maybe it was
starting
Pike.
to form because they think there's going to be
And my uncle
a
Chuck.
lot in it for
Other than
them
my dad.
if they're able to get through, but we're able to stop it. The wall has made a tremendous difference.
Maybe
I
that's
think
what she
some
was
of you are
thinking.
coming with me, but the wall has
It'd be like
made
Grandpa
a
to her.
tremendous difference on the
uncle.
southern border. As far as this is concerned, we want no violence, never violence. We want absolutely no violence.
Party,
And
party, party.
On the impeachment, it's really a continuation of the greatest witch hunt in the history of politics. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. This impeachment is causing tremendous anger, and you're doing it, and it's really a terrible thing that they're doing. For Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to continue on this path, I think it's causing
You know how we do.
tremendous danger to our country.
Yeah, Tim's in AZ
and it's
too.
causing tremendous anger. I want no violence. Thank you very much. Thank
We're
you.
all out here getting it. All right, global.
Or could you make it in a bigger size?
God.
Because we would like to take wine to the park. Really,
All right,
that
the
first
bottom
year
of
was
this
just
usually has some good information for world news.
It's been a real wild ride. We went from 3 million in sales
I update pretty quick.
to 10 to 50, 50 to 100, really fast. We are now in 65 countries. One of the challenges that we faced is we outgrew our office.
Hiram, what's going on? I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself? Oh, I need to switch the chat to where I see all chat. I don't know if someone else said something. No, not yet. Okay. Yeah, it must have been Pike because I was like, what, really? He hasn't told me anything. That would have been awesome to see.
We had to put a lot of things on pause
Oh,
while
wait.
we built the infrastructure. We're building up the leadership team.
What does this say? China
Moving
does
warehouses
what?
to the
Hong Kong's biggest ETF resumes buying stocks banned by U.S.
while we built the infrastructure.
Through the Chinese rule, they overturned.
Warehouse, we're moving the website. We can be a billion-dollar company because we've got the systems. Last year,
Dangerous shit.
2016, I had the idea to launch a new line for Swell. It's called Sip by Swell. We originally launched in Target stores nationwide.
China's trade surplus hits record as pandemic fuels exports. Do I have Cash App? Yeah. I think there's a link in the thing.
The average customer that has a Swell at home has 5.5.
I appreciate you, Hiram.
Still today, we're a self-funded company, and we don't have any outside investors. I don't have a board. I don't have any metrics. I don't have anyone telling me I need to hit.
I'm pretty sure there's a link. Oh, let me check.
We don't necessarily need the capital, but I'm always interested in potential advice and expertise. How could we potentially partner with someone that can help us grow bigger, faster, stronger? I'm not saying that anything's
Oh no, there's
coming,
not.
but you never know. I still see people with plastic water
Let me put
bottles.
one up.
However, I have to say, I think the balance of seeing the plastic versus seeing swells is starting to change. We still
Let me
have
see
some
what it is.
education to do, but
I'll
I'm
put it up.
feeling pretty good about the progress.
Hell yeah. How do I see what my name is? Okay. Hell yeah. I already had it set up. I knew I did, but it's not on here. Alright, let me update it right here. There we go, dude. There we go. I think that's what it is. It has like a dollar sign, and it's Earth Monkey 69. I was born on the 69th day of the year, if you could figure that out. And I was born 6 pounds 9 ounces, so It's a luckier number. To connect on Discord, I'm not too familiar with Discord, but the Discord link is in the description. I think that's based off of the ETF. It's just the overall NASDAQ, what they compile as a whole top 100. So you could buy one of every one of those stocks, and I guess you would be part owner. But I think it's just a dollar amount of how much the stock costs. But there's sometimes millions of shares out there, so. But I think it's just an overall number. I'm kind of looking at the shit at the bottom. They have like good information at the bottom. China moles banning UK passport holders from office. Oh, and I heard China today, fucking on January 6th, they went and literally arrested the biggest amount of Democratic Party members. The CCP just went in and arrested them because they were going to hold an election, and they got arrested, and it was the biggest arrest in recent history. And they did it on the 6th, when obviously we're gonna have a bunch of shit going on.
Gotham Greens is a commercial-scale urban farming company. We develop and operate high-tech greenhouse facilities for fresh vegetable production in cities. I was working in the field of sustainability and environmental engineering, and became fascinated with the technology that was available to be able to grow crops using a small fraction of the resources compared to
what I'm thinking.
farming. And at the same time, I really started to recognize the growing trend in the marketplace toward consumers wanting more local and regionally sourced food. So that's really when
I actually invest. I think you were asking about it one night, but yeah, I'm up in the last year $2,000, and I only put $2,000 in, so up 100% because of all the shit that happened. But
within 3 months we were completely sold out of produce.
Buy into what you want. With the 401k, I think it's easier on taxes, but if you don't sell, then you're good, and then someone handles it.
We crafted an idea to actually design and build a
Alright, let's see.
greenhouse into the roofs of one of their new supermarkets.
I think we're back to the beginning.
That was almost double the size of the first one, and provided our brand with a lot of visibility.
Let's see Breitbart, what they have to say.
Lo and behold, within a few short months of opening that second greenhouse facility, we were yet again sold out of the produce. So we started looking at Chicago, which is also
Oh my God.
a thriving food culture and a consumer base that's increasingly demanding high quality fresh produce, and that facility is our largest.
Says Billions creator Matt Gaetz has the single most punchable face I've ever seen. Jesus Christ.
Conventional field farming. This form of farming, which is known as controlled environment agriculture, is really a combination of
What? Census Bureau stops tallying number of illegal aliens in U.S. Russ Bub, possibly. My buddy's coming over. I'll see if he's down to get down. I was probably gonna stream for a little bit and see what he wants to do. It's his birthday and shit yesterday, so might want to go grab a beer, do something. I don't know yet. Projected retire date plans. Yeah, there you go.
We've experienced about a 20x growth rate since inception. In our first year of operations, we grew about 500,000.
I mean, those accounts either way are doing really good right now, or they were under Trump.
I believe the future will have us expanding to other cities across the United States, expanding.
Guy's a buffoon. See the Vatican? We got someone chilling down here. 2 people. What is this? What the fuck was that? What is going on? Am I tripping? What the fuck is that? Looks like it's in a pattern though. I don't think it's anything. Every time I see an Omegle video, I get an Omegle and cycle through it until I get this guy. Laugh my ass off. John Duncan, fuck yeah. Your boy. What's going on, dude? Trying to figure out what the fuck's going on in the world. Look at everything's cold as shit. Look at that, dude. Oh my god. Big ass storm in New Zealand. Wait, is that New Zealand? Right? I don't know, where are we? Yeah. India looks like it's hot as fuck there. It's starting to creep down. Look at this line right here. In a year, that'll be moved down to here probably. Here to be randomly educated? Fuck yeah. What should we talk about tonight, man? Manuel Ferreira, they're gonna have to retract their false opinions after the FBI report this afternoon. Ooh, FBI report? What'd they say, Mr. Manuel? Damn, it's cold as fuck too in Africa right now. What is this? Why is that there? Looks like a little symbol. Oh, never mind. It's something on my screen. That shit's dirty as fuck. Let's see.
Alleged members of Italy's most powerful mafia group, the 'Ndrangheta, are being prosecuted in the country's biggest organised crime trial in decades. The charges include murder, drug trafficking, extortion and money laundering. An Italian prosecutor has been called
We could watch
by members of the mafia, but he has
one of my favorite news people.
There is a reason why this is called a
Hawaii.
The Chinese Communist Party gains more influence over Europe, but a new effort in the UK is seeking to change that.
Turn it up. Sorry.
Welcome to China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. Europe's financial elite are in bed with the Chinese Communist Party. The EU abandoned human rights to get a China investment deal.
Yeah.
But
there's
some
a lot
in the
of
British
shit that's being reported to the
UK doesn't make
intelligence
the same
agency right now.
For more,
Trump was
I spoke
saying
with
he was
Benedict
being
Rogers,
briefed on it.
co-founder and chief executive
that's why he
of
put out
Hong
another
Kong Watch
statement, because he's
and
like, there's some
deputy chair
shit.
of the Conservative Party Human Rights Commission.
Like they
Benedict,
have
as always,
like
it's a
tactics
pleasure
on where
having
they're
you
gonna
on.
go, and I guess.
Thank you. It's always a great pleasure to
well,
be with
this
you.
is.
Yeah. Well, it seems like
some
every
side
time we talk, there's been
conspiracy,
another
but
horrible thing that's happened in Hong Kong. Last week, the
they
Hong
have
Kong
like
government arrested more than 50
guidelines
pro-democracy
on when to
activists.
shoot and when
What
not to
do you
shoot.
think of the international response to that?
I think the international
I don't know,
response
he's
has
got
not been
Pooh Bear.
anything like what it should be in proportion to the significance of these arrests. I mean, this was essentially the final
savage.
dismantling of what existed as a democracy movement. That's not to say the democracy movement won't try to carry on, but in formal terms, this was a major. It was the biggest mass arrest in one swoop that I think there's ever been in recent years, and the international community's response was some strong words, but very little else, and even those strong words were rather lost in the midst of everything else going on. So I definitely want to see more action.
Well, definitely seems like
more
the
action.
Communist Party
He's even
chose
calling
to make
for it in
those
China.
arrests on a very particular day, January 6th.
Action being called for all around the world.
The rest of the world would be distracted by something else.
Not good.
Well, absolutely. January the 6th
breakdown in society.
Was a pretty dark day, I think, for democracy in terms of the arrest of people in Hong Kong in the morning, Hong Kong time, for the simple crime in inverted commas of trying to carry out an election. And of course, it ended with the very ugly scenes in Washington, D.C., a beacon of democracy around the world as well. So whilst I wouldn't compare the two, and I think America's democracy is strong and Hong Kong's freedoms are being dismantled, so it would be wrong to compare them. But nevertheless, they both happened on the same day, and that was very, very alarming.
You worked on the UK Conservative Party Human Rights Commission report on China, which is called The Darkness Deepens. Very cheerful, by the way.
Darkness
The report
deepens.
calls out the mendacity, brutality, inhumanity, insecurity, and criminality of the Chinese Communist Party. You don't miss words there, do you?
We don't, but it's a report that is based on hours and hours of testimonial evidence that was presented to the Conservative Party Human Rights Commission in hearings throughout much of last year, and pages of written evidence. And that evidence was submitted by a wide range of sources, all essentially saying the same thing, and
hopefully,
painting a picture of. I think what's significant about this report is that there are other reports that highlight particular issues.
Pardoning him though,
the Uyghurs, the situation in Hong Kong.
Why is he even being charged? Is the question.
There's very few reports that I've come across that put the whole picture together and show that the
he
CCP
reported on something.
Is not only committing very likely genocide against the Uyghurs and dismantling democracy in Hong Kong. It is across the board. It is Christians, it's Falun Gong practitioners, it's civil society activists, lawyers, bloggers, etc. It's an 88-page report with a long list of tragedies, and it follows, of course, the report that the Commission published in 2016, which was titled "The Darkest Moment." And the reason for that title at that time was that one of the people who gave evidence then
I don't even know if he
said that
can
the
now.
situation in 2016 was the darkest moment since the Tiananmen massacre. With hindsight, that title was perhaps a bit premature, and
he's talking about pardoning himself.
The darkness deepens.
I don't know if that's funny or tragic.
Yeah. Well, it's very tragic in reality, but you have to keep a sense of humor in very dark times, and we found ourselves as a commission faced with that linguistic challenge. What title do we give this if we titled it "The Darkest Moment" 4 years ago?
Well, so then what's the next one going to be called if it gets worse?
I think we'll have to come to that when we get to it. But
Darkness
any
is
suggestions, let me know.
Just a stream of swears. Well, okay, so hopefully it won't get to that point. So what actions does the report suggest the UK take against the Chinese Communist Party's human rights abuses?
Well, it calls, first of all, for a comprehensive and coordinated, thorough review of UK-China policy across government departments. So not just the Foreign Office, but across relevant government departments. And for a total reset and recalibration of that relationship. It calls for targeted sanctions, which have not yet been applied.
They're basically saying, oh yeah, China is going through genocide, and we're just going to stop trading with you guys.
A coalition of the free world to act
like, that's your punishment, you stop trade?
Together.
And some people are saying, no, we can't stop trade.
Denominator. I mean, countries should be as robust as they possibly can be. But I think there is a need for the democratic world to unite and coordinate much more than they have been, because essentially we need to form a united front to counter the
Ross
CCP's
Ulbricht.
united front.
I like the sound of that. I know recently some UK members of Parliament have suggested a genocide amendment to the UK trade bill. What is that?
Genocide amendment.
Yes, so that is an amendment that
Why would you need a
was
genocide
pioneered
amendment?
in the House of Lords by
This is how you stand
people
up?
like Lord Alton and quite an amazing range of members of the House of Lords, former
It's like, this is amazing, by a bunch of lords.
the former head of the Royal Air Force, the former head of our intelligence services, former Supreme Court judges, and a whole range of other really distinguished figures. And it now goes to the House of Commons next week. And what the amendment tries to
Lords
do
to
is
Commons.
two things. Firstly, to create a mechanism whereby people who believe there is a case of genocide, and this applies not simply in the case of China, but genocide anywhere, wherever it happens,
What?
can come
It does
to
not make any
the High
sense.
Court of England and Wales and ask the High Court to make a preliminary determination as to whether the evidence does suggest genocide or not. And the consequence of that, if the High Court does conclude that it's genocide, under this amendment, the government will be required not to enter into a bilateral trade deal with the states that are found to be committing genocide. So
Jesus Christ, are you guys retarded?
Should be revoked.
Like, should we throw this in there too?
Steps towards one
Like,
should
just
be
in
stopped.
case somebody's like,
So
nah,
that's
they're
that's
cool.
the effect
They're
of it.
making us money.
And it was
Doesn't
designed
matter
to
about
answer a
mass
very
genocide.
simple problem, which is that for decades now, the British government's position. This isn't always the position of other governments, but the
This
British
is
government's
amazing.
position has
We're
always
so
been.
glad that they did this.
It's not for governments to determine whether something is genocide, it's for the courts. But the problem in that, that's a perfectly logical, theoretical position to have, but the problem with it is the international court mechanisms are very unsatisfactory, and particularly in the case of China, you're never going to get a referral. So this is an amendment designed to get out of that vicious circle.
Oh, okay,
You
I see
certainly
what you're
phrase
saying.
that in a very polite way.
Yeah, well, that makes
but
sense.
So it sounds pretty straightforward.
Genocide
Don't trade
where?
with
In
countries
China,
that
dude.
commit genocide. But it seems like the UK government is not happy about it. So if the genocide amendment
And they're
passes,
basically
would the
saying
UK
that
government actually
it's
apply
hard to
that
prove
to
that China, or it's hard to make
Well, that's the
China a
big question.
company
I mean,
that
if it
is
passes and
accused of
becomes law,
genocide, but
and if then
It's-
a case is brought to
it's
the
happening.
High Court of England and Wales in regard
Uyghur
to the
Muslims.
Uyghurs, for example, and if the High Court concludes that what's happening to the
Shit
Uyghurs
is,
is genocide, then under the law, the UK would not be able to negotiate a trade deal with China in those circumstances. Now, realistically, there's going to be quite a long time frame to complete all those steps, but nevertheless, it's a very important. If it passes, it would send a very important message, and it would be law that people can go to the court, see if the court decides it's genocide, and if it does, the government must abide by the requirements of that amendment.
Oh no,
So
it's
speaking of
genocide.
trade, the EU has recently announced a major investment deal with China. How would this deal affect human rights in China?
The EU
I don't even know what
deal
ethnic
is
cleansing is.
one of the most appalling
But now
deals
they're
that I've seen. And what was
they got
so
camps.
striking about
They're
it
shaving
was
their heads.
the timing of it. Firstly, it came
people who
just
are
a few days after
going
the
against
European
it.
Parliament
They got
itself, one
education
of the EU's
camps.
main institutions, had passed a resolution calling
Most likes
for
I ever got on one
targeted
video?
sanctions,
I'm not sure.
calling for access to the camps in Xinjiang.
I'll have to look at that.
And very
Yeah, we could
importantly,
take a
calling
look.
for any investment
pull it
deal
up.
to have particular
guys can
standards
see.
around labor rights. And just a few days later, the European Commission and the member states completely ignored the European Parliament
I don't think there's anything
and went ahead with
important
this
on there.
deal that has no safeguards on human rights. It has maybe a few sort of vague promises by the CCP to move towards signing various international agreements, but we all know what to think of the CCP's word. We can't ever take their word for anything other than essentially an untruth. And so it's a deal. And coming just a short time before the transition in the United States as well, it sends a pretty bad signal to the new administration in the U.S. So I think it was. I think most people agree it's a bad deal in itself, and it was very bad timing. And I hope that the European Parliament and other member states will reconsider it before it's too late.
That's probably the biggest one.
Is it too late to do something about the EU-China investment deal?
29 likes.
It has been signed.
Then,
so in that sense, it probably
this one actually got a bunch of views,
but I think there
1,500
are
views.
steps that the EU could take. I mean, I said when the 53 were arrested in Hong Kong that in response
that's
to
why
that,
you don't
the
buy
EU
stocks
should
in China either. They fuck
fuck
with their numbers.
and reconsider the deal.
We've been caught doing it.
Unfortunately, they didn't listen to me, but I think we need to keep up the
In
pressure
my opinion.
on the
I'm not
EU
a financial
itself and on
advisor.
member
Don't take
states
advice from me.
to take action going forward. If they can't revoke the deal, then at least they need to balance it with other measures, including the application of targeted Magnitsky sanctions.
You're part of 2 upcoming events about human rights in China that people can join online. Can you tell us about those?
Genocide, ethnic cleansing, whatever it is. Democide. Democide is the biggest killer of humans
later
in history
today,
of
on
humans.
the 13th of January, is the launch of the Conservative Party Human Rights Commission's report that the darkness deepens, and that's an online event. I've tweeted about it. There's an Eventbrite invitation out there. People can register, and at that event we will have some very amazing speakers. Ian Duncan Smith, who is the
if you guys are
former
interested,
leader
tomorrow,
of the British Conservative Party, but also the co-chair of IPAC, the Interparliamentary Alliance on China.
Tomorrow there is
will be speaking at it.
a
So will
conservative
Nathan
movie
Law,
being streamed on the Daily Wire.
exiled, Hong Kong
It's not.
Rahima
It's conservative
Mahmood,
made, but
who's
it's not a
very
conservative
high-profile
movie.
Uyghur
It's not
campaigner.
directed at that, but
Simon Cheng,
it is
who,
directed by
you
a
may
conservative
recall, was,
person, so it's
a
not going to
British
be
consulate employee
super
in Hong Kong
leftist, and
who
it's
ended up in jail
something new
in
they're
China
trying.
and,
You guys want to check it out? I think it's at 4 that they're going to do a
horrific,
premiere.
Torture there, and Dr. Teng Biao, a
culture.
prominent, mainland Chinese exiled lawyer and activist, and I'll say a few words as well. So that's the lineup. At that
I'm going to be
event.
working, so I'm going to have to watch it after. But
tomorrow,
if you guys want to
Thursday,
check
the
it out,
14th of January, the Macdonald Laurier Institute, think tank in Canada, together with Hong Kong Watch, IPAC, and a number of others, has a big online conference on human rights in China as a whole, and with a number of politicians and prominent activists speaking at that and looking at what are the ways forward to addressing human rights in China.
all right.
Well, I'll definitely put links to those events below, and I hope everyone watching definitely checks that out. Benedict, it's always great to have you on. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, Daily Wire.
Thank you very much for having me.
4 o'clock tomorrow. Oh, shit. Let's see.
And McConnell's wife, Elaine
Bill O'Reilly.
Chao, resigned last week as
Yeah, dude.
Secretary of Transportation. She quit over the Capitol riots.
Did you get the bag lunch?
Now it grows thicker. So this story could be true. Except
You got toenail clippings with you?
McConnell has, as I just told you, sitting
I'll be right
on
down there.
all this trouble. Now Schumer,
Later.
when he takes over on January 20th,
I did, guys. Look what I painted.
Schumer would do that. McConnell's not making it easy. What I think McConnell may be enjoying Trump getting impeached in the House. So once the New York Times says something, all of the far left press pick it up. They don't care if it's true or not, as long as it makes Trump look bad. CNN, McConnell told associates he believes Trump committed impeachment. How would CNN know? There's not one source site. How would they know? Politico, there you go. Republicans begin turning on Trump. NBC News, with another impeachment vote. Republicans finally reckon with Trumpism. Seattle Times. McConnell is said to believe impeachment make it easy to purge Trump. So they take the New York Times anonymous source story and they make it the truth. That's how the game is rigged. Okay? Take an unsourced story and you say it's true. And then everybody else picks it up and says it's true. All right. Now, if McConnell gets back to us, which I don't believe he will, we will absolutely report what he said. So summing up, I believe Mitch McConnell does not like Donald Trump at all.
Yeah.
Gang, right?
Gang.
His wife would
I
never
feel
have
like an
resigned.
idiot. I literally sit on the seat of my car. I go out and I'm all sitting there taking a Waddy and shit. I get in the car. I literally sit right on the game. I'm thinking that I broke it. I'm all looking. I'm like, thank God.
Let me see.
I don't think I broke it.
Legends of Mana.
I was gonna get really pissed if I broke it because, like I said, there's like a fucking $30 game even without the case.
Dude, it looks like a pretty fucking intense game from what I remember.
Yeah.
It's a big ass map.
At least, yeah, I was gonna say, at least I don't think I fucking broke it anymore.
You open it, just snaps in half.
Oh, dude, I'd get so fucking pissed. This game looks pretty fucked up on the back, not gonna lie. Can't believe I spent that much money. I should have asked to look at the disc.
It's all fucked up?
Not for me sitting on it, but you gotta think, I bought this game used.
We live in a corrupt society. Media is corrupt. Politicians are corrupt. Parties aren't
I mean,
for you. That's the way it is. I think it'll change.
you played it that one night, it was working pretty good.
So, the FBI and...
You take it back, you're like, yeah, it's snapped in half. I don't know why you sold it to me like this.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I was just saying, like, if you, like, kind of, like, look at it,
Oh,
it
yeah.
looks like there's, like, lines going through it and shit.
There's a deep one right at the edge right there.
It doesn't really surprise me, though, because you gotta think, like, this, it being a PlayStation 1 game, how many people, like, had this back in the day, especially the fact that this didn't have a case. That means at a given point, someone probably had this game just laying out on their fucking desk. Or they could have had it setting face down. I remember my buddy DJ used to do that and shit.
Fucking, how was your birthday, dude?
Oh, it was pretty good. Ended up,
Do some crazy shit, get some hookers.
No, I ended up just going and showing it, got pretty fucking drunk, and then, he offered me an Uber, and I just decided to walk home at like 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, dude, it was so sketchy though, as I was walking back though. Like, I mean, nothing crazy though, but if I would have drove my car, I would have definitely got fucked on it, because just walking from, Greenway to Bell and shit up the, 59, like, dude, like, I seen several fucking cops and shit pass. So, yeah, definitely good thing that, I didn't drive my car. That would have really sucked. Happy birthday, literally get a fucking second DUI,
Yeah,
get my
right?
car impounded and have to go to jail for a fucking month.
27's gonna be a good year.
Oh, God. Hell no, dude.
You about to do, something this weekend? Are you trying to?
I don't know. I mean, I'd be down.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, we need to do something fucking crazy today. No, never mind. Some really bad ideas just came to mind.
Should we do some Omegle?
Yeah. I mean, what's going on with this one?
I was just fucking watching the news and shit.
Oh, Tim Owens, is that one dude that was like with a beanie? Or no, I'm thinking of that.
No, it's Tim Pool.
Not Tim Pool, okay. Like, oh, what? That dude?
Tim Owens is my brother.
He's your brother?
Or kind of brother-in-law, in a way.
Huh. Nice.
Yeah. That's the homie.
Seen the fucking craziest thing at Circle K just now.
Dude, was the guy out there again sweeping the fucking concrete?
Nah, dude, like, as I was sitting there, like, I just hear, it sounds like they're screaming and yelling inside. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? The door flies open. This tweaker comes out, like, riding a unicycle, like, super fucking fast. He goes down off the curb, fucking jumps off, fucking literally soaks his hair in gas, lights it on fire. He gets back on the unicycle, he just dips behind Wendy's. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh my god.
telling John we should do that. They're talking about making a band. They came up with the name Shitty Piss Boys. And I was telling that needs to do, like, we need to, like, talk it up and, like, oh, yeah, they're, like, the greatest band ever. Like, dude, we're fucking super good. Go to Joe's Grotto. We completely suck ass and shit. We're just playing the instruments, screaming. We have a midget riding a unicycle and shit. Dude, it'd be so sick. We all stop. We're like, kickstand! And then we all go back to playing. Everyone's like, what the fuck is this? And then as the show starts to pick up and the mosh pit starts to go, like when the super shitty solo kicks in, you know the lady from QT 43rd in Union QT Wheels?
Wheel? No.
You've never seen the lady that's always sitting there in the electric wheelchair like this that has one shoe off wearing a purple shirt?
What? No.
Dude, I'm telling you.
She's always wearing a purple shirt?
Always wearing a purple shirt, always has one shoe.
She's like a Simpsons character. They never change clothes.
It's fucking weird, dude. Literally, like, when you walk into the counter and shit, like, you know, like, the back area where they have, like, the food and shit, like, over here, like, where the counter is and this, she's always sitting right there. It was hilarious. When Krista was working
is she allowed to just go and sit in there?
Well, Krista was working at that location, and her ex was working there as well. Like, that's how Krista, like, kind of told me about her. She's like, you ever notice the chick that sits there in the wheelchair in the lobby? I'm like, no. And then got to see her myself. Apparently, she'll, like, buy stuff and then, like, leave after a while and then come back so they can't really, like, find her for, like, trespassing. And she'll, like, sit there and, like, talk to the people at the front. It's like, what the fuck? Dude, I'd literally, like, I'd make it to the point where she couldn't come on the fucking property. She's gonna have to travel to a different QT.
And QT's cool, though.
Yeah, but at the same time, dude, it gets to the point where it's just like, you, like, get, like, a video game system or, like, a computer or something. Like, you're gonna go spend your days up at QT?
Just likes to people watch, I guess.
Are you serious? She is, a person to watch.
Or she's like a robot.
I don't know.
She's fake.
Oh, it's hilarious, though, but, I was with Kristen. She's promised that she's going to give one of her coworkers a ride home. So she came, picked me up, and then we were going back to QT. And we were sitting there in, like, the lobby, and Krista's, like, she went in the back, clocked out. And I was, like, talking with some of the people that work there. This one dude signs out on his shift about the same time Krista does. He walks out to go to his car. Wheels literally follows him outside.
Wheels?
Yeah, Wheels. Wheels literally just sits there and is like, follows him outside. Me and Krista and her buddy go outside. We're getting in her truck, and at this point, I'm just watching the lady. He's literally going outside. He's smoking a cigarette. The lady's, like, sitting there talking to him. He walks to his car. She, like, follows him to his car. He gets in, and then he, like, backs away, and then, like, drives. She goes to the edge of the cement right there, and then, like, sits there and, like, kind of, like, watches him. You see him, like, go out here to the light. And then, like, he starts going, like westbound. She, like, kind of, like, spins in her wheelchair and, like, watches him and then comes back and then goes back in the lobby. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Dude, she comes up one day. She's got a fucking ramp. She's like, dude, Wheels is doing some crazy shit. She's setting up cones. Like, what the hell is she doing? She's cornering off a part of the parking lot.
Oh, my God.
She goes and sets up banners and shit. She just goes and just starts ramping a ramp. Just, like, doing 360s and shit. Like, dude, Wheels is crazy. Everybody's like, I love that girl.
After she does that, she gets a sponsorship. You know how they have the Phoenix Salmon at the skate park? Everyone's out skateboarding. She just rolls in. She has no shirt, no bra or anything. Her boobs are just showing out. She pulls in. Everyone looks up like, yeah! Everyone starts going insane.
They're all
like,
wearing purple shirts.
They're all sitting in wheelchairs with one foot. I swear, she has one shoe on, and it's like the fucking like Velcro shoes. She just has one shoe on, and she's just showing it with one shoe. She's always like sitting there like this, like it's disgusting, bro. No class, but definitely no shame.
Damn, bro, we're on a train, not a Trumpkin. We are on a fucking train.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like respect her and like how she views that. Because it really looks like she just doesn't give a fuck.
Right?
Right? I mean, honestly, she don't.
I gotta love it, right? Or don't love it.
I don't know, it's fucking weird. Really fucking weird. You know, honestly, I'd really hate to work at my job and have some fucking old, like, crazy looking bitch, like, chilling in a wheelchair just watching me while I work. I fucking hate that, dude. worst time, dude, it was when I was working at the Tempe at the Buttes in the Marriott, like out there in Tempe and shit. There was this crazy ass old lady on AV and stuff that like no one really liked her and shit. She's sitting there talking to me. She's like, "Oh, you're new here, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "Oh, I think you're gonna do a good job." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then I went in this like little cubby area, and they're like kind of like showing me where all this stuff is. I'm sitting there chilling in the chair, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get the paperwork, figure out what's going on." He walks out of the room, and then I still hear the AV lady out there. She's like, "Oh yeah, that new dude, I don't think he's gonna make it. He looks like he's completely clueless. I give him a week." And then not even a minute later, she walks in and she's like, "You were sitting there?" She's like, "I think you're gonna do a great job." And then she just was super awkward. I'm like, "Yeah,
thanks."
It's like, what a bitch. But yeah, fuck you.
Fucking bitch.
I asked the one dude, Gustavo, that was who I was working with at the time. I'm like, "Yeah, what's up with the AV lady?" He's like, "I don't mind her." She's like, "We always have a joke that she just wandered in here and they just gave her a name badge and she's not even getting paid. She just shows up to work."
Wait, so you're back at your job?
No, this was when I was working at the hotel in Tempe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fucking. Yeah. You trying to do the some Omegle?
Yeah. Ended up going back to work, and then when I do go back to work.
When are you going back to work?
I don't know, to be honest. I just can't, I can't wait, though, because I can't wait to throw Romulo's sandwich at the wall.
Romulo?
Yeah.
Who the hell is Romulo?
Some old Mexican dude. I want to ask to see his girth. I want to tell Bessie, "What up, Brody?" Tell Mike that I peed in the fountain and I'm like 5 Xanax deep.
Oh my god. I gotta take the camera off real quick and then it'll be back on.
Oh, I want to tell Sammy that I want to defecate Erica's mouth. I honestly miss seeing my coworkers.
Yeah, dude, kind of sucks because you probably brought like a little happiness to their day.
I mean, it was kind of like a group effort. After a while, I got a lot of them saying like weird ass shit. Mike's all telling me that the mayonnaise that they have in the thing is literally just Frank. Like when he goes in his back office, like when he does shipping and handling for the first half of the day, he just goes on a milking machine for a cow that literally just beats him off, and it's literally Frank's jizz for the mayonnaise.
What the fuck? That's your manager?
No, that's just one of my coworkers. But my one of my main managers, his name is Mike, but we just call him Michael. And then the other dude that I work with, I just call him Mike.
Okay, I got you.
I honestly miss the tweaker temps too.
The tweak temps.
Oh my god, they're fucking great. And when he's like, "I've been everywhere. I've been in Georgia, Mexico, Texas, Georgia." As he's telling us, his eyes.
He says Georgia twice.
Yeah, his eyes are like bugging out of his head. It looks like he's like moving around frantically. He keeps touching his neck. There's this other dude, Brian, that like me and Jesse really honestly couldn't fucking stand. Cause like he would come in there and he tried to tell us what to do. He's like, "Oh, I've been a temp here for 10 years. And Jesse's like, "Yeah, why don't you just get a job here?" Brian just stares at him. He's like, "I don't really care. I'm gonna go in and listen to the lead and not you." That's where like the whole like thing kind of started between Jesse and him. We're sitting there in the storeroom, right? We're waiting to do work. He's all talking with Daryl and all them. And Daryl's like, "Dude, you look like you're fucking tired." And he's like, "Yeah, I am. I actually have insomnia. I really don't sleep much." Jesse looks up from his phone and starts busting up laughing super hard.
Oh my god.
Jesse, when he started laughing, I started laughing, and it triggered like a few other people to start laughing. Brian like super pissed. He stands up. He's like, "Okay, well I can go in and see where people rest on that," and walks out of the room.
What the fuck?
It's like, what does he expect? Like the people we work with, half of them, like.
You guys all like, fucking just crack up jokes and shit.
Pretty much, yeah. Eric's usually coked out. Daryl's all fucking. I don't even know what Daryl's on anymore. Puppy literally smokes fucking perks up in the room and shit. Sammy, I think he shows up drunk half the time. He always talks about making out with Erica and slapping her ass, and Erica looks like a fucking baboon.
My god.
We're outside, you get downwind of her, it literally smells like a fucking porta potty.
Alright, we gotta make a screen for what are we gonna talk about tonight on Omegle.
Could a baboon suck the chrome off a ball hedge?
Yeah. Way too intense right off the bat.
What do you mean that's too intense? There's no regulations or guidelines. It doesn't suggest violence.
It's just, yeah, it doesn't, but it's just a little bit too much.
You don't really think anyone's not gonna agree? Dude, there's some baboons that are fucking straight up sluts. They got them big ass lips.
Are baboons, are we descendants of baboons?
No, wait a minute. Do baboons listen to gospel music?
What would a baboon listen to? What kind of music do baboons listen to?
WAP. I don't know.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
I see that, I imagine like
we can go with
monkeys,
a lot
going
with that.
crazy,
All right,
like
all right.
one swinging on a thing.
No, that's good. That's good. Baboon. All right, we gotta get an image of a baboon.
Get an image of a baboon in a wheelchair with fucking handlebars on it. What?
Oh yeah.
Dude, did you see that? The monkey is literally holding like a little lion.
This? Should we do that one?
Oh my god, hell no. That thing looks savage.
Yeah, that thing's kind of weird.
Yeah, I like the white one.
Yeah, and we'll put some headphones on him.
That's kind of weird though. It almost looks like Planet of the Apes.
A copy image. Alright.
When I look at the baboon, just kind of like blur, like kind of like squint your eyes. Doesn't it make you think of beans and rice?
Why beans and rice? What?
Because if you look at the face, it kind of looks like beanie, and then like if you look at like the white, I don't know, it just looks like rice.
It's the fucking sheep.
On the side it says Beats by Dre, but you have to spell Dre wrong. None of it's spelled right. Oh, dude, I know what we should do tonight.
I'll actually type it on there.
You trying to go, dude, like literally at the gas station, I noticed they sell hats. You're trying to go buy a hat and then go to the park.
What?
And then light it on fire at the basketball court and just fucking hide behind the wall and see if a cop shows up. Bets by Dre.
Bets be Dre.
I like the beans and rice, dude. This shit's fucking hot.
Yeah, I'll put beans and rice.
Imagine that thing's trying to give you like a fucking rim job at 3 a.m.
Wait. Imagine it now.
Oh my god. I will devour your family.
Wait. Damn it.
It's got a fucking chicklet hanging out of its mouth. Oh, dude, John was telling me about the craziest shit ever.
There we go.
He was telling me about this dude. They were calling Pazuzu or some shit like that. And then I guess he was like responsible for like 2 or 3 murders. But like this dude is like a straight up